Okay, and you're good to go, Cheryl.
Okay, well, I'm happy to be here, and I don't know what's wrong with the lighting on my computer. It's not this bright in that room that I'm in right now, so if it looks weird to you, I'm sorry. Anyway, it's a
It
pleasure
looks fine.
to, thank you. But anyway, it's a pleasure to be here with you all every week, and I love this call because the stories every time are so amazing, and that's really what we're all about. I mean, it just makes my heart so happy to think that this is what I do and what we all do together. And if any of you are joining us for the first time, I'm Cheryl Cortese, and I have been with the Juice Plus Company for 32 and a half years now. And that's still just a shock to me because that was not my background of any type. I was an educator for many years, and then just found myself in a very frightening situation 32 years ago, a little over that, where the economy in Louisiana had just totally bottomed out. And everybody that our economy was based in the petroleum, oil, and gas business, and that moved to the Middle East. And when it did, everybody's jobs went with it. And there was a lot of fear around that, as you can imagine, because economic depression does that. And people lost their homes. Many marriages came apart. Mine was one of them. And I had to find a way to hopefully create additional income because I couldn't keep us above struggle on a teacher's salary. And so I had two children that I wanted to send to college, and I just wasn't going to be able to do it if I didn't find something else. So my children were actually middle school at the time, but looking into the future, it looked really bleak. And then I came across this, and it just turned out to be, one of the blessings, maybe one of the greatest blessings of my life, and has been and continues to be a very joyous thing. The prosperity's there, but the emotional revenue, I think, and I think that's what we experience on a call that we just heard, is that it is wonderful to be able to have a business where you can not only create for yourself the income that's needed, but help other people do the same thing. But the emotional revenue is just above and beyond, because it's a joy that's on a level that I don't think many people get to experience in what they do in the work world. And I'm sure there are people who do, but I think that not everybody does, and we're lucky for that. And if I think about the stories I heard tonight, how exciting, it makes you realize that Juice Plus is something that helps the body no matter what the challenge is, that, it's the foundation that lets the body do its own magic. And Dr. Corson could probably speak to that a lot better than I could, but I have watched it for so many years. And, in the situation we're all in at this point in time in our world, we find ourselves I mean, it's like every day you wake up to something a little different. It's changed so much in just the last week and a half, 2 weeks. And we all find ourselves really in almost like surreal, but let's, stop and evaluate where we are and what we can do. The first thing I'm going to do and have done is that what Dr. Steve was saying, I'm going to take about triple the Juice Plus that I've been taking all these years. I started that a little while back. And I think we're very blessed in that we have knowledge of, just enough knowledge of nutrition. All of us who have worked at this for many years, not that we are nutritionists, or I know there are many in our business, but that we have a good general knowledge of how to take care of ourselves. And I wanted to talk about tonight and with you all, not necessarily talk at you, but if you all want to, and I will ask you to interact on your thoughts as well, because I think that we're all going to learn and grow together in this, even more so than we have in the past. That's always been something that we've done together, is learn and grow together as a team from the very beginning. But I would really like for us to talk about tonight, where do we go from here as far as how do we function, and how do we function at the highest level, and how do we serve? Because I think that really is our call to action here, is how do we serve, and how do we serve those around us with what we have to offer that can help this whole situation be better for people, better for ourselves, and better for others. So one of the things that I think would be an important topic is basically working from home. You know, how do we serve others that are now being forced to work at home that have never had to before? And what are the skills? This is a skill set in itself, and it's one that many of us have acquired, and now it's going to have to be readjusted just a little bit because we're at home all the time. we're not flying out the door here and there as often as we've been in the past. So we might look at the freedoms that come along with being at home, and also the discipline of how we can really be most effective in what we do and how we can be most effective in serving others. I think if we were to look at this from, I mean, certainly we know we have a product that's going to make a difference for people. And obviously, you know, there's a great deal of uncertainty that surrounds everything at this point in time for people. And I don't know how many of you, I know I've mentioned this book before, probably Leader Shift instead of Leadership, Leader Shift, and that's probably coming in backwards there. But anyway, as a leader, sometimes you have to shift just a little bit to really be able to be effective and continue to be even more effective as you develop and grow, whether it's you're a leader in your church, or you're a leader in your business, you're a leader in your family. You know, how do you go about that? And one of the things that he points out here right in the beginning, and I'll start with, is that he says that life really kind of expands and shrinks in proportion to our courage and what we're, you know, what we're made of, so to speak, as far as our character. He talks about the fact that opportunities are always surrounded by uncertainty. And I think here when we talk about opportunity, the opportunity is not just to share with others something that could be good for their health, obviously, and to share with others something that could create additional income, but to be able to share with others anything that we have acquired that gives us a skill that can help other people at this time. And I think working from home is one of them. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Certainly from a product standpoint, one of the things I've done here in the last week is I've gotten very assertive about the people that I love and care about that have said no to me in the past as far as my product is concerned, because I've watched too much over the years. And I know, and just from hearing what we heard tonight, and we've heard that every Thursday night, we hear it on calls, you know, our product does, and the research shows all the things that would empower the body. Our product does make a difference. And also, again, the skill of working from home. But I also wanted to share one other thing that I came across too that I thought was and this is going to be backwards again. It's Think Yourself into Health, Wealth, and Happiness, Dr. Joseph Murphy. And Dr. Joseph Murphy is a good read always. He's the one who wrote The Power of the Subconscious Mind. But I thought this was really good too, because he said, someone once brought to my attention, and of course, Henry Ford he was not only an inventor, we all have automobiles today because of him, but he became very wealthy doing that. He was really one of the great industrial leaders of his time. And he was asked, what would he do if he lost all of his money and all of his business and everything just totally disappeared? And he replied, I would think of something fundamental, something simple, something that was a basic need to all people, and I would supply that need more efficiently and more effectively than anyone else. I would be consistent and persistent with what I had to offer to fill the need in the marketplace. And he said then life would just go back to being what it is now, which was comfortable and successful. So I think, you know, if we look at what is the urgency in the population today, and it's pretty clear, it's the need for as much immune support as possible, as much nutrition as possible, and we have something that can help. It's also the need to figure out how to, in things shifting so quickly, how to help people who at this point, I'm sure, because I've been in that situation where I was absolutely terrified as to how I could create income, how bad that feels. And so let's talk about working from home and being able to teach others to work from home. Because again, it's a skill, and it's a skill that offers many freedoms. And we like the freedoms. You get to design your own day. You get to more or less do the activities that create a return at the time that you choose. If you are a parent, and I know this was really important to me, I was suddenly single. I didn't want to have to leave my children during the day. So it was getting the privilege of staying there, being able to rear your own children. I always hated traffic, and I didn't have to be in traffic, but today we don't have as much of that right now. It'll go back to that at some point. But something that I think for all of us too is really important is that we have now in really so many people are being invited and almost forced, if they work from home or been instructed to work from home, to step into the digital world that we're all experiencing right now. And so if you look at one of the things we have to offer others is the ability to teach people to be comfortable with things like Zoom and be able to reach out to others that way. Something that I'll listen to today was kind of a little podcast on, for people that have never worked from home, it feels very isolating. And I think it's very interesting. We've become very comfortable with staying connected, so through things like Zoom. So our social distancing is not quite as far, okay, I guess would be the way to say it, is because I can look at Candace and so many of you, then Carol and all of you. I do see you once in a while in person, but I feel as close to you seeing you in this medium as well. And so we definitely want to connect personally as often as we possibly can over time, but really encouraging people to be part of what we do through Zoom and inviting them, I think also gives that support, that emotional, social support that's going to be really needed. The other thing that was mentioned was to really make your home a hub instead of a, something that feels too contained. Think of it as the hub in which your life can really be structured and run. And also the other thing that was mentioned that I like is taking control of what we might call media binging right now, which is watching the news or what might even be fake news over and over and over. I think this is something that's going to be really important. I'm having to control myself pretty hard on that. Okay, is taking control. And I know Dr. Sachs, one of the things that she encouraged us to do was, in talking with her the other day, was only look at the news once a day because you'll get all the information you need once a day if possible. So that you think about how can you best then structure your time to serve others, to stay connected, to reach out to the people that maybe were customers at one time but have fallen off. Maybe they're going to rethink that now, to the people that you love who've said no maybe in the past, and to the people that you know that are in need, and this would make sense from both a business or a product standpoint. So we look at, how do you discipline that time? And that's, if we look at working from home, the freedoms are wonderful, but the freedoms only happen if the discipline's there so that you can get the return. So we want to talk about the disciplines, and I've had to work at keeping myself in shape in that as well. And we all do. But when I started with this business many years ago, one of the things that I found that really helped me in making sure that I used my time well to get a good return was I had to have a structure in place that was more or less non-negotiable, okay? That's where the Monday night call came from. The Monday night call was to keep me on track, okay? If I made a commitment to myself that for my team, and that's why a team is so important, because you'll stay connected if you're gonna service your team, people will always do more for others than maybe they'll do for themselves. So that commitment to the Monday night call, and we've not missed a Monday night now in 30 years. That commitment to the Monday night call was the first beginning of me putting a structure together that would say, okay, you have to show up for that. Okay. And then from there came other things that became the structure that was consistent. We do a national marketing director call every Monday morning. We've been doing that for 24, 25 years. Didn't start with all national marketing directors, actually started when I was a sales coordinator, I think. And I was getting my, team together to, strategize for the week. So what I'm encouraging you to do is look at what is your structure going to be during the day so that you are fulfilled in all areas and not just your business. Your business is something certainly that is going to bring you a return. It's going to be a healthy return if consistent. Consistency is the key. But there are other aspects to your life, that are very important. One of the things that I was doing before we were kind of sequestered into our homes was that I would, go to work out at least three. And when I say work out, it wasn't any big deal. I'm still trying to graduate from the very beginning, the beginner, okay, as far as workout. Carol Turnbow, and she would really, she would find my workout probably a little pathetic, but at any rate, I was going 3 times a week. So now, that was part of my day, and so that has changed some. I can't go out and go to the workout place 3 times a week because they've closed their doors as well as everyone else where there anybody gathering. So I've had to be rather disciplined with myself, and that I'm going to get up in the morning. There's also, from what I've learned from a lot of my team over the past couple of years, and in watching other team members do it, is, meditation, spiritual connection. Those things are important for me really early in the morning, right when I'm waking up, or right before I go to sleep at night, because it kind of keeps me in a place that is not above insanity. Let's put it that way. It keeps me above insanity and kind of grounded. And then I've had to force myself to say, okay, what's going to be the time when you use that same time that was the workout time before? And because I definitely have all the little things I can work with, the foam roller, the exercise things, the weights, I've got them all. So, I've got that in place. So what I've realized is that I've got to really create a structure for myself that keeps me on point, in focus, and keeps me in as positive a state. And I have to work at that positive state, and I think we all do. Again, Dr. Joseph Murphy is a really good read as far as the power of your mind. And I've had to whip my mind into shape here, and we all do, I think, at this point, in staying as positive as possible. So I'm reading Joseph Murphy in the morning and in the evening, because I think this is, aspects of that. So you want to look at taking care of yourself. It's kind of like when you're on the airlines and they say, if you need oxygen, put it on yourself first, and then you can help those around you. And so I have worked at what's going to be the spiritual input, what's going to be the physical, what's going to be the mental. And mental for me is, again, trying to feed myself as much positive as I can. Keep the necessary information coming in, but not overdosing on things that are negative. And then if you think about who are you talking to during the day, and again, this was part of this podcast I listened to today, and one of the people who was talking about where your day is he thinks about, he was prioritizing and looking at all of the aspects of your life and where time is concerned. It's like money in the bank. Where are you investing your time? Because your time is the capital that you're working with. It's the most important commodity that you have. So business, personal, educational, spiritual, where are those blocks of time going to be, and how do you invest in it? I heard also talking about, you want to think about who are your mentors. Maybe you need some contact during the day so that you feel good or you're uplifted. Who are you mentoring that you could make sure that you're connecting with so they get that uplift as well? And then who are the running mates that you have that are important, that you support each other, that maybe you brain spark together? It's like iron, metal sharpening metal, or iron sharpens iron. It's wanting to stay in a really good state as far as your day is concerned. And so what I thought I would do at this point is let's talk about the things, and maybe you would like to really chime in here with me. Let's talk about maybe the blessings from working at home, even though we're more or less sequestered at this time. Because if you think about it, the people we love most will probably be closest to us for many people at this time. And if we can keep from killing each other, if there are 4 or 5 family members in the house, okay, then it might be, the best times too will happen as well, as far as interacting with family as you stay together. So what I'd like to do at this point is maybe some of you can give me some, and we'll start doing this to make sure that we share it with others. What are some of the blessings that you feel like have been a blessing for you as far as working from home? How has it changed a little in this week, and how are you handling that? And then, what are the things that you feel like we can do to really service others as far as where we are and how we go about it? And so who would like to help me out on that? Candace, would you like to start? I know you responded to me the other day on why you like working from home. Maybe you can start and just give me a little input there, okay?
Well, I'll be happy to. So there are 2 parts to it for me. One is why I love it so much right now at this time. So grateful. But let me start real fast. The whole reason that my husband and I were able to just pick up and move 3 hours south and not have to sell our home, which we love. It's 4.5 acres in woods near the University of Notre Dame, old farmhouse. We love it. Eventually we will let that go. But we were able to just pick up and move south to be present for our children who were having babies. And the first one was born over 3 months premature, under 1.5 pounds. And she's done incredibly. She's now going to be 11 years old this summer. But just to be present and purchase a house right here in Indianapolis and just be part of their lives. And it turned out that 3 of our 4 sons all eventually moved here, and all of our grandchildren are here. So I've been feeling blessed all these years because that was our Juice Plus mission-driven business that allowed us to do that and be where we want and spend our time with the ones we love so much. And George still gets in the car and teaches part-time at Indiana University's on the Notre Dame campus. It's almost a 3-hour drive each way. It's very part-time now, and right now it's all shut down. So we're just grateful. And then the part right now, I love working from home, Cheryl. And I just told George today, I said, I love it so much. I feel so blessed. We have 2 dogs that we rescued. One is 5 years old. One is 20 years old. Yes, they're on Green Juice Plus, opened up every day on their food. We just sprinkle it on there. Learned that from other partners long ago. But to be here, be in the thick of it. One of our sons is an emergency room doctor now in the busiest, largest public hospital in the state. And he expects, we expect a lot of challenge right here, starting right now. So we're here, we can help with the children. His wife is an OBGYN, and yet when I'm on the phone or I'm texting someone or messaging someone, I'm spreading love and hope to them, and I'm answering just a lot of requests from lapsed customers to get back on Juice Plus. So it's just incredibly rewarding, Cheryl. I'm just so thankful. And then we've got our village, which is we're on our village right now. So thank you for your incredible leadership.
And thank you so much, Candace. And I think the other thing too, that for all of us, like we already, and I have Carol Turnbow to thank for this, and Josh, and Duhan, for they have been consistently, and again, this is another one of those things that's a piece of the structure that's in place, and they have been 2 years, Carol, I think, almost, or a year and a half. They've not missed a Thursday night, okay? But now it's a meeting place for all of us and for all of you, to invite people, to invite your teams, to invite people to listen to those product stories. And we'll also have business stories as well, because in just the last week, the people that have connected with me and with others on our teams, that they either want to, do their distributorship again because they've kind of fallen away, and this is a good place for people to be. There is, the ability to create return because there's a huge need in the marketplace today. And people who, I've had 2 3-way calls today with young women who their jobs are, they don't know how long before they can go back, because they were in some sort of service business, whether it was hotel or restaurant. But both of these girls were, could you tell me how you do what you do? Could you help me figure out how to do that? Because they were on the product. They were customers who were on the product, and they see this as a way now because they want everybody that they know and love to be on the product as well. So, again, this is a very, I don't know what's happening here. It looks like, I didn't know that a computer could ring like a phone, but I guess it can. I apologize. I guess that'll hang low. I can decline it. Oh, good.
There we go.
It's nice to be wanted.
At any rate. But again, the fact that we can, we have a lot to offer. But Candace, what you're talking about from a business standpoint is the freedom.
They're not going to give up.
Is the freedom to make choices. And I think that, right now, especially at a time where people feel like their choices are very limited, that we have, again, something to offer. We did, and I have to, congratulate Lauren Lahave. I know she's not on this call, but, every day she's doing something to stay connected to people. Well, I think tomorrow morning we have someone who does crystal bowl sound baths. It's 9 o'clock. If anybody wants to join, we'll send it out to you. And it's just going to be, lay on the floor, listen to your sound bowl meditation, and, enjoy for a little while. So, anything that we can help people do, I'm just going to keep declining it. But anything that we can do to encourage people to come together and to be able to support each other and to feel connected, and again, I congratulate you all on this Thursday night. But, I have now reached out to people who are not in my business. Some of them have gone on the product in the last week, but were not on the product before. And I said, when we do something on, on Zoom, or just like the crystal bowl bath in the morning, okay, if you'd like to call in, you don't have to be on our product and you don't have to be in our business. I think supporting people as much as possible right now in being able to handle the anxiety they certainly feel. I think that is, again, a way to stretch out and put our Juice Plus, as Candace said, you can love on people all day, and to put our, our Juice Plus arms around people, whether they're customers or team members or not, so that we create that support. Anyone else? I know we're just a couple of minutes over time, but, one of the things that you feel like, or that you like working from home, or a tip maybe. I know there are a lot of people, even a lot of our team members who, work usually, who are now at home and have children at home. And it might be a good topic for next week's, training is, how do you handle those kids if you're not used to handling those kids at home? Because I've heard that from a few people, like, I usually work and I don't see the kids during the day. And even though Juice Plus is part-time. And so, parents who do work from home and handle small children all day long would be very good to share with others who've never had to do that and who are trying to figure that out. Anybody else who has anything that you'd like to share as far as why you like working from home and why you feel like it would...
I can,
Okay.
Cheryl, hey, just very quickly, I have to say that it's not something that I've discovered until very recently. In fact, today, when Suzanne reminded me of the call today, it's really comforting to have something like this to kind of like plug into, because you know, my sensation has been that I have been off and on a spin, and coming to something like this absolutely centers me. So, you know, I thank everyone that actually made time to get on here, because it really is kind of like it kind of adjusted my thinking, and it adjusted my I don't know, it just gave me like a chiropractor alignment for the soul.
Like this was like a chiropractor alignment. I'm so
Yeah.
glad.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like they just shut down Los Angeles right now, so it could be scary, but knowing that I have a community to lean on, of people who are every day stepping outside their comfort zone prior to this, gives me the strength of knowing that this too shall pass, because everyone here, one way or another, has experienced something like this and has been able to make, you know, lemonade out of something like this.
And again, it's, you know, the person doesn't have to be a customer or distributor to be invited to our community. If they're a human being, okay, and they eat and breathe, I think that would, you know, be a good thing to do. And for anything that we do, and I'm here in Los Angeles too, as we know, and it is different. So we really, I think it's a wonderful thing that we have to offer, and we want to make sure that we continue to invite people and show up and come to anything that we do together, so that we keep that community strong, because this will pass. Okay, anybody else? One more quick one. I know we're just a little bit over time.
Another hand, Cheryl, right down. Yep, go ahead. You're
Really?
unmuted. You should be good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Okay,
we can hear you.
there you
Yep.
go.
Hi, you guys. My name's Doreen. I'm from Roadmar, California. I just have to say, I've been in the business for 17 years. I'm a sales coordinator, but it's this community. Look, I'm going to cry. It's amazing. I'm so thankful. I work for the school district full time, but it's just such an amazing community, and it's so uplifting. I've been on Lauren's call in the mornings. You guys, it's amazing. You guys got to get on. But you know what? The biggest thing is the community, and just being able to be with others and share our hope. It's amazing. And before I let you guys go, Cheryl, can you please tell me the name of those 2 books one more time?
Sure, I'll be happy to. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, this book, the first book that he wrote, and it's Dr. Joseph Murphy is the author, and it's just Murphy. And his first book was The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And it's really taking control of your thought process. And this one, now he's written, I think he wrote 6 or 8, maybe, I think I have 8 different ones. They're all fairly similar. And what he talks about is staying connected to your higher being. That, you know, if you are connected, and he's not any particular religion, it is just connected to a higher source that's a loving source. And but he's really good about helping you think in a way that is very, very positive in the best of times or the worst of times. And to know that, you know, we're not only are we all connected, but we are connected to a higher source that's love. And I have to tell you, this is I had 2 copies of this. I bought 2 of each one of the books actually, but my originals, the covers are gone because I have read them so many times and they're all curled up. I could show you one next week where no covers though, because it really is a stability for me to keep, I have to keep that something going in the way of reading or listening. And usually for me, it's reading, because I like to underline and yell out the things I want to go back and look at to keep me in a positive state. And then the other one is John Maxwell on Leader Shift. And it's just, he talks about that, you know, leadership, you know, we usually have like a leader looks like this, that's what a leader does, but sometimes a true leader in the midst of uncertainty has to make some shifts just to be able to help those people around him or her, or to really be able to carry themselves in uncertainty. And I just, it's so interesting because this book was written sometime a year or so ago, certainly when things were not as uncertain as they are right now. And I found it very interesting because he said usually in times of uncertainty and great fear is when at the end of that, the best results for people come. And that if you can just look at how you're going to move through it, you know, and as Dr. Tamara Sachs said, you know, stay calm and take charge. Stay calm and take charge. And that's what I have to keep, you know, and we all have to keep reminding ourselves of that. Stay calm and take charge. The other thing is that if we look at what we do, what we know about our product and what it'll do for the body, our skill of being able to work from home, I don't feel like my life really has changed as drastically as I know many people lives have changed because I'm used to this environment and I like it. I don't like that necessarily that I'm in the house all day long, but I can live with that a lot better than others, okay, because it has been my life for so many years. But if we look at what we have to offer and the fact that we are a caring, loving community, we were built for what's happening right now. We were trained for this and we're training for it. So we are the people that will help make the difference in a time that's very challenging. And I just want you all to be very proud of yourselves, you know, congratulate yourselves for putting the time and effort into your business to this point, because we need to stretch out and make a difference in the world. And we say that all the time, but the world has presented itself now and is asking for it. So I think we're in good shape, folks. Okay. And it's been a pleasure to be on with everybody. And so I'll talk to you probably in the next day or so, because we're going to be getting on calls constantly like this. Okay. So let's reach out to everybody that we know and love and stay connected. You know, have the courage to be assertive with people on, you know, Juice Plus is really necessary right now for the body. And we have a way to help others. And when there's a need in the marketplace, there's definitely, you know, an opportunity. And I said this last night too on a call. It's not so much that, oh, we're going to make big money doing this. It's that we want to be able to help and to serve, because again, that's what we were designed to do. Okay. So great talking to everybody. We'll say good night now, and hopefully we'll see you somewhere soon in the next few hours or days. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Cheryl.
Thanks, Cheryl. Thank you, Carol.
Bye.
Thanks, Josh. Have a good evening.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.
Candace, thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Good. Wonderful.